Peace, y'all, and welcome back to another tea time. You know the vibes. It's Divine Destiny, and today we are going to be talking about two of my favorite subjects, which is self-love and self-care. Okay, amen. What are you sipping on? I am sipping on a Damiana blend with my reishi spice because I just love that so much. A little cinnamon, little honey, little lemon. You know the vibes. It's almost gone though because it was good. Anyway, excuse me for clearing my throat. Okay, just did a reading and then I started drinking this tea, so there is no reason for my throat to be acting up, so that very much could already be channeled energy. Okay, so maybe it's time for you to speak up, say what you need to say. Okay, let that throat chakra clear it up, say what needs to be said, say what's on your heart. That's what I'm hearing. If you hear any movement, banging, clanging, things like that, my roommate is moving, so it's not really much I can do about the noise, but thank you for kicking it with me. Anyway, you feel me? That could also be significant for you. Maybe there's some movement that needs to be made, and maybe you vocalizing your feelings, your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs, what you got going on in your mind, period, is going to help create this movement in your life, this necessary movement, this necessary shift. If you tapped into the reading this week, that's exactly what that reading was all about. So I'm not even gonna preach to you here, right? But this topic of self-love and self-care, we're diving deeper. Okay, so we're not talking about taking bubble baths and putting on a face mask. Okay, we're not talking about going to the gym. All those things are important. All of those things are very important. We're talking about deeper spiritual self-care. Okay, spiritual self-love. And so spirit brought to me, I'm looking down at my notes, if you know, you know. Spirit brought to me the saying that the love you're looking for is within you. And they had me meditating on that for the past few days. And with that being said, this is what got back to me. So I know it's like easier said than done. People are like, just love yourself and pour love into yourself. And like what you're looking for outside of yourself as far as love goes is already within you. You need to find that within yourself. But like if you have never been loved the way it is that you deserve and desire to be loved, then pouring that love into yourself is way easier said than done. And that is coming from my own personal life. I'm about to back up off that. I feel like, dang, who was in here? Anyway. From my own personal life, I can say like I spent the better part of my early 20s looking for the love that I felt I deserved, looking for the love that I felt I desired, looking for the love that I pour into other people, right? Just because I wanted to feel what that is like to be poured back into myself, right? So if you're anything like me, okay, you've been through your fair share of tumultuous situations in love because you were trying to find the love that you needed in other people. And with that being said, I have finally learned how to turn that love back into myself, and I'm here to share that with you. Okay, so let's get it going. Let's tap in. So the main point, I guess, is that you have to be willing and open and vulnerable enough with yourself to go back to past versions of you, right? You have to be willing to go back into the past version of you that felt shame, that felt guilt, that felt heartache, that felt loss, that felt betrayal or hurt, right? You have to be willing to meet yourself at your past versions of you, at your lowest self. You have to be willing to meet yourself at your most broken point. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to go back there because At every past version of yourself that was hurt, that was shamed, it felt guilty over something, like you left a piece of yourself there. So you have to go back to those versions of yourself and pour whatever love it is that you were looking for at the time that you didn't receive from other people, whatever love it is that you needed at that time and just didn't get, right? You have to now be the one to go back and pour that into that version of yourself, right? Pouring that love into you presently is going to heal. I feel like I have to burp so bad, but confirmation, right? Pouring that love that you needed back in the day, or in that version of yourself, or in that situation or experience or relationship, into yourself presently is going to heal that past version of yourself, right? You're gonna go meet yourself emotionally where you were when you went through that experience or that situation or that relationship, and whatever love or just energy, emotional understanding, compassion, empathy, forgiveness it is that you needed in that moment, you're going to give it to yourself right now. That is how you bring those past versions of yourself into integration with where it is and who it is you are in this present moment, right? Because you are not your mistakes. You are not your trials, your tribulations, your triggers, your traumas, your struggles, your past experiences. You're not even those past versions of yourself that you were, right? You are an entirely new being right here now today. You get a new chance every day to be a different and better being, a better version of yourself. So it's so important to go back to those versions of yourself that just aren't in alignment or vibrational match with where you are now, but you're still holding on to pieces of those past versions of yourself, or past experiences, past hurts, past traumas, past losses, whatever it might be for you, right? You're still holding on to those pieces of yourself because you haven't allowed yourself to receive the love it is that you needed in those experiences, in those situations, in those moments. And that love can only come from you. Recognizing that we can really only receive the level of love like from other people that we are giving ourselves. So even if somebody were to pour the love it is you think you deserved and desired into that past version of yourself, would you have been able to truly, openly, and vulnerably receive it? Would you have been openly able to accept it? Because now, I'm about to say some crazy things. This is what I heard. The energy or experience that you encountered occurred in the way that it had to occur because of where you were energetically radiating or vibrating at that time, right? So the circumstances or outcome of that situation, right, had to occur for that version of you, for you to get to this version of you, for you to be who you are right now, for you to have the level of love it is that you have for yourself, the level of understanding that you hold for yourself, right? The level of intuition, of wisdom, of knowledge that you've gained, the power that you've gained over yourself and your emotions and your reality. Excuse me, there it is. Confirmation. All of that occurred because of these past versions of yourself. The only way to truly integrate and move forward into this new version of yourself without holding on to that baggage is to pour the love it is that you felt you deserved or desired in those moments, or just didn't receive and you did deserve and desire them in those moments. You have to pour it back into yourself. Which brings me to our next point. Because how powerful is it? Truly, truly, truly. It is such a blessing to have the power to be able to rewrite that narrative for yourself. You going back and loving on that childhood you going back and loving on that teenage you, that young adult you, that grown adult you, the you of yesterday, you feel me? Like, you pouring the love it is that you deserve back into those past versions of yourself is allowing you to rewrite the narrative of your life. It's allowing you to change your literal genetic frequency and vibration. That is so powerful. That is beyond beautiful. That is such a blessing to even be able to do. For real. Like, what? That is such a blessing to be able to do. So I just am here to encourage everybody to just start to pour that love into yourself. You know what you felt was missing in those situations and those opportunities in those relationships. Do you know what you needed when younger you was hurt, when younger you felt betrayed, when younger you felt at a loss? You know what you needed now, which is why you have the power to go back and pour that into yourself and just change that. Because right now, if you're walking around and you're carrying that energy, that emotional friction, the mental turmoil of those past situations, like, that's still affecting your vibration. So while you may be vibrating higher than you were at that moment, you're still holding on to that energy, which is still affecting you today. So you can't be at your highest, most authentic timeline, self, and purpose if you're holding on to the energies of the past, right? Absolutely. Even if other people around you are just hell-bent and dead set on holding you to the past versions of you, if they're hell-bent and dead set on holding you to how you used to react, or maybe things that you've done in the past, right? There are certain people who just feel the need to keep you in that box. Like, this is what you did, so this must be who you are for life. And Spirit wants us to get so comfortable shedding and releasing any energies, whether they're internal or external, right? Their habits, their mindsets, their beliefs, their patterns, their ideologies that we have adopted, principles that we have accepted as truth, right? Or if it's external, it's actually people or places that are keeping you small, keeping you bound to past versions of yourself or past mindsets and ideologies of struggle, of lack, of scarcity, right? Of doubts, of fears, of anxiety, of depression. Like, Spirit wants us to get comfortable shedding these energies, because that is back to the spiritual, what I call it in the beginning, spiritual self-care, right? That is the spiritual self-care. You're pruning out and weeding out the energies that are not in alignment with your highest good, your highest self, your highest purpose, right? You're pruning out and weeding out the energies that are trying to either pull you back into or keep you in old mind frames, keep you in old patterns and old cycles, hold you in old ideologies or versions of self. Like, you have to release those things. And when you are releasing those things, you're literally telling yourself, 1414 on my timer, you are literally telling yourself, like, hey, I love me enough to release this thing, this person, this ideology, this habit that is, I might love this thing also. I might love this person. I might love this place, but it's hurting me more to hold on to this thing, and I love myself enough to let it go. If that ain't self-care, I don't know what the fuck is, for real. What? Like, setting boundaries moving away from what doesn't serve you and even going after what does serve you are all forms of self-love and self-care, but like on a vibrational, on an energetic, on a spiritual level that is felt. Like when you start making shifts and movements in your energy to like set a firm boundary and stand on it, or to release someone or something out of your energetic field that just is not in alignment with where you see yourself going, where you're already headed. Or if you're just choosing to say, hey, I really want that thing. I really like that person. I want to be their friend. I want, I'm trying to go get a, right? Whatever it is for you. When you choose to take those steps, when you choose to make those movements, you are not only telling yourself, I love me enough to make this movement, but you are telling spirit, the divine, the most high, I love myself enough and I trust you enough. I trust source enough to know that when I release this thing, when I walk away from this thing, or when I lean into this passion, I am going to be guided and protected in every aspect. And that is going to continue to radiate. That is going to create a ripple effect, is what I'm hearing. That's going to create a ripple effect in your life, right? You begin to plant seeds of like, this is what I deserve. I'm only accepting what I deserve. I will release anything that's not in alignment with what I deserve. This is you planting those seeds into the soil of life. And the universe is not going to have a choice but to allow those seeds to grow. And this becomes your reality, but you have to pour that love into yourself, right? You have to pour that respect into yourself, that trust into yourself enough to make these motions, make these choices, make these decisions, and then stand on them wholeheartedly. Let's see what else my notes say. Yeah, that's it. That's the message for real. Self-love and self-care is bigger than 1717 on my timer as I'm saying this. It's bigger than just pouring into the superficial, I moisturize my skin today. Self-care, no. I mean, yes, moisturize your skin, period, right? But it's deeper than that. And when you decide to take it deeper than I'm going to take care of my physical body, when you decide to pour that self-care into I'm going to take care of my mental body, my emotional body, my spiritual body, the universe is going to reciprocate and things are going to shift for you abundantly at a fast pace, at a swift motion. Because if you're shifting your energy, then the energy around you has no choice but to shift also. I am a firm believer that self-care is shadow work, right? When you really get into like what we've just discussed today, when you go into going back to the old version of yourself and pouring love into yourself, going back into the old version of yourself and taking accountability for your position and energy in that situation that allowed that situation to occur in the way that it did, your response to that situation that perpetuated whatever cycle it did at the time, you know what I'm saying? When you really sit with yourself and reflect and allow for just the feelings to come up and then pour love onto yourself so those feelings can dissipate, that's shadow work. Self-care and self-love at its core is shadow work, and I encourage y'all to keep doing the work. It is working. It is helping you move towards your blessings and abundance. If you like this video, share it with somebody who needs to hear it, and until next time, stay divine.